this segment of the First Year Plug. My name is Mduduzi and my surname is Vilagazi. I'm an actuarial analyst by profession at NBC Holdings. I've been asked by your associate lecturer, which is Ben Mathule, to actually give you tips on how to handle first year, and I have 4 for you. So to start off, I'll speak about consulting. Guys, it is important to actually consult because that builds a relationship with your lecturer. So the relationship that you have with the lecturer will benefit you in 2 ways. The first one is your lecturer will actually be able to help you because they will understand your thought process. And when you come to them and say, lecturer, I'm struggling with this question and this question, they will know how you're thinking about it and they will then guide you correctly in order for you to get the answer. The second part is that when you're in class, the lecturer will actually start to use you to gauge if the class is understanding what they're trying to explain. If you have a weird face that says you're actually not understanding the concept, what the lecturer will then do, they'll actually re-explain the concept again, which means you'll have the benefit of actually leaving the class understanding the concept the way you need to understand it. The second part is consistency. Guys, you need to be consistent. And by consistency, I don't mean you being at the library 24 hours every day and all of that. No, you will crash. But what do I mean is going home, when you get home, what you do, you revise the work that you did in a day. Even if you take an hour or 2 to actually revise the work and do a few examples and then go to sleep, that's enough. Why? Because your subjects will then tend to repeat themselves. So the only thing that you're doing at night when you are just reading this stuff is just to give your brain an idea of what's going on. And as you keep repeating them by the fifth or sixth time, when you're seeing the concept again, your brain will be familiar with it and you will be able to actually register it and you'll be able to understand it. And by virtue of that, you'll then begin to pass. The third part is you need to balance your life. I understood this very late in my adulthood that university doesn't test how smart you are. You've already proven in your matric that you are smart. So university is more of an introduction to adulthood. If you think about it, what do adults handle in their life? They handle babies, they handle partners, they handle work, they handle school, they handle business, right? So they somehow find a balance to juggle all of those things, right? So also, because university is introducing you to adulthood, that means all of the subjects that you have, you need to give them equal attention. And how you get to do that is to find balance within your life. And it is important to find that balance and that rhythm that works for you. The last one is you need to be careful of the friends you keep, guys. Like, it's important that you actually have friends that will encourage you to keep going, because you can't avoid failure in varsity. Trust me, you are gonna fail, right? And when that happens, you need people that are going to encourage you and tell you that you can do it. Just go back, look at the mistakes that you've done and try again. You know, you don't need those people that will tell you that, yeah, we told you actuarial science is difficult and all of that and all of that. You don't need that. Most of you guys are doing actuarial science, statistics, you're doing computer science, computational and applied maths, and those courses are difficult. So you need a support system that will actually help you to pass these difficult.
Consult. I didn't do enough of that earlier, I think. But you can never consult enough. If something doesn't seem like you get it, go go consult. I can't stress that enough. And then 2, learn yourself. And by that I mean learn what times are best for you to study. What times are you the most productive? You know, some people are very productive at night. Some are very productive in the morning. Some during the day, maybe. Tough for those because there's classes to attend.
Yeah.
But I think if you're very productive during the day, maybe early evening can still work for you. So really just learn what are the times when you are most productive, and make sure that during those times you really are studying. You're not studying with one leg, and then if you know Mudipadi comes, let's go the matrix, and then you drop everything, you go. Go the matrix at your unproductive times. You know, like figure out what times are just the most productive for you. And another thing is to your social life. I think find people that build you. I know that sounds like a cliche, but it's not. I mean, it's not. It's one of the most important things. I mean, I went to vets, and you know, I met a friend there that just really we just we just immediately clicked because we understood each other. Things that people gave me a side eye for, she got because she understands. You know what I mean? Don't get people around you that are going to make you feel like oh, maybe, oh, you're so rural. Oh, you're so, you know, oh, you're so, oh, you so, don't, you know, hang around people that understand you. I'm not saying don't be open to change, but don't be around people that make you feel like there's something wrong with you when you're not doing anything wrong. And there's a lot of that in varsity. Like there is at university, a lot of vanity. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's too much vanity in a sense that if you don't hang around people that get you, your problems are going to be many.
For actually, I think the first thing is discipline, man. So it's discipline. Then when it comes to maybe strategies and stuff, so one needs to try as much as they can that they balance. So you don't find yourself focusing on one course or module, then maybe ignoring other modules. So for you to try to find yourself like passing all modules, then going into another year without carrying the previous year modules. So try to balance all the modules. And when it comes to studying, you need to try as much as you can that you consult and you ask questions where you don't understand. So yeah, I think in overall, yeah, I think it's to try to consult. If you're asking questions and also with your friends as well. So try maybe form study groups, because yeah, I mean, I think especially for things like design. So you can't do design alone unless if it's a project. But if it's the basics and stuff, so you need some group. And yeah, actually, most of the courses, try as much as you can that you don't isolate yourself. That one. So if you don't understand, try check up with your friends. And also, if you don't understand, if they don't also understand, try consult with your lecturers. And yeah, then try to balance all the modules. Don't just focus on one course throughout the week. So, and also the pre-studying, so pre-lecture. So you need to study before you go to the lecture. So study what the lecture is going to be teaching on that day before. Then if maybe there's something that you don't understand, you can be able, it's either you'll understand it during the lecture, or maybe you can get that opportunity during the short breaks to ask those questions that maybe you didn't understand. So yeah, then also, yeah, I think it's more, and also avoid overstudying. So because sometimes we actually overstudy, so we consume like some more information than we need. So then you end up like your mind just gets cluttered with maybe unnecessary information. So most of the time we spend our time studying. Then at the end of the day, you realize that there's nothing in your mind or brain. So I think you need to choose your battles. That's what they say. So yeah, just try to make sure that you don't overstudy. So yeah, I think that's one of the things that you need to consider for you to maybe pass or survive.
My advice is
always, and I've done this all the way from high school, always ask questions. Start with your friends first. If your friends are struggling as well, then go to the lecturer. The lecturer is going to break it down for you nicely. Lecturers are there to help you. Go to them, or go to your tutor as well. So basically just use all the resources you have. Don't spend, imagine in engineering, man, you can spend 3 hours on one question, but trying to solve it and still not get the answer. You see where the challenge is. 3 hours solving a question that, let's say, is supposed to take you maybe 15 marks, and still not get it. You see. And why? Because you could be missing just one thing. Maybe one small thing. Yeah. One small thing, you don't realize it. Somebody takes and looks at your thing, your solution, and says, but you didn't apply what? And you're like, shit. And now you're like, I spent 3 hours on this and I could have just, you see. So use the resources you have. Like always use the resources you have. Don't struggle for too long, because time is not on your side. You need to be quick. When it comes to engineering, you need to be quick, because even when you get inside the exam room, you have a question which is about 25 marks. That question, if you're not a fast thinker, it can take you an hour. And the moment it does that, you're running out of time. You still have other questions to answer, you see. So one of the tips is, even inside the exam room, make sure that you start with the easiest questions. Make sure you start with the easiest questions. And also make sure, this is the big one, always treat the past question papers. Because I'm telling you, they either repeat themselves, or even if they don't repeat themselves, they will be masquerading as a different question. Can masquerade, hiding there.
I like the word you use, like they will be masquerading. Masquerading.
Yes. And then you don't see that the question you've already treated before is hidden in there. Somewhere. So you need to be making sure that treat past question papers and have those solutions, have those memorandums, and then you'll be good to go.
Yeah, my principles are, I think they can work for a lot of people. I don't know how different students have different techniques, but first you must first understand yourself, what kind of person you are.
Sure.
For me, I'm a hard drive. So meaning everything that I learn is forever. It's not gone. Like I can go back and teach grade R. I still remember what I did in grade R.
Sure.
So for me, I have that long-term memory, but sometimes I struggle to receive the information. Like for you to teach me something and understand, you need to be that good to make me understand. So I can say when it's time to receive information, I'm like an average person. So, and I realized that at some point, sometimes people explain things in class, then I just don't get it. But if the minute I say I understand, then it's any problem that comes, I will pass it. I don't care how they want to complicate it, but I will pass it. But the issue is me understanding. So if you have, let's say you have that similar problem, you can approach those who are good with understanding. There's generally those people who are good in understanding. Like I had this other boy of mine. I actually met him when I was repeating. His name is Lance Tino Tenda Chikorios from Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
That guy was not focused on engineering, he was focused on volleyball. He's playing for Zimbabwean volleyball team. That guy was so good, like that. If I can find a memo and I'm unable to follow the memo, he will take the very same memo and understand where the other parameters are coming from. That's how good he was. And when he studied everything, whether the lecture is covering this part or not covering this part. He studies everything. And I made a friend with someone like that. And when I met him and before I met him, my performance is totally different. I would get to exam and get a 96% for something that I used to get 50s. He was so good, and he was able to explain to me, and he understood that I take time to understand things, especially if we are taught in a very big space like Mahudi standing there, explain how the triple integral work, and I would struggle. But if I keep on going back to that, and someone will help me, showing me, or sometimes you can help me once if you're that good, and I understand. So, at firstly, I would say they must understand themselves. If they know that for them to pass is through maybe studying way in advance. That's another strategy that I use. When I'm studying by myself and I don't have other people, I study way in advance. If I know that we are writing first just in, let's say for example, programming. I never struggled with programming that a lot of people struggle with. And I can still teach programming even today. The language that I did, the content that I did, because I studied way before time. So I realized, hey, I heard about it, that this thing, we're programming in C and MATLAB. So I heard that those things are moving. So the whole December of the year before I did the programming, I was studying programming, watching YouTube videos. Like I was doing a lot of effort before it actually came. And when I had to do it, it was easy for me. I'll get 100% for programming.
Wow.
And I'll still help other people. That's why actually Mafefe Academy was born.
Yeah.
It was born through programming, because a lot of people were struggling with programming and they needed help from me. They knew, oh, this Mafefe who knows how he knows this stuff. So I will start charging them, you know, for me to do this program for you. Yeah, okay, give me 100 rand. I'll help. That's how I was able to do 10 different codes that do the same thing.
Yeah.
Because if you do the same, they will look at plagiarism, and then they might discipline them and whatnot. So I will help them with 10 different codes to do the same thing.
Hey, you were that good, man.
Yeah, I was well vested in it. And there's this other boy that I always post with, the yellow bone one.
If we can just pay attention to what happens at the university. One thing I'll tell you, we come from poor families. I don't want to put this in in an educated way or something like that. I just want to put it as it is. Poor, meaning as in like do not have. You do not have money. You do not have this to buy that. All you have, you do not have the looks for this place. You look like, you really look like you from Limpopo. You look Limpopo. You look banging. When someone looks at you, they can tell that this one is really from Longoma. This one. So that's one thing that people first years tend to focus on. That okay, I don't look like I belong here. I don't look like a vet student. And then they tend to want to look like a vet student, you know. And believe me, trust me, that takes a lot of, you know, it takes a lot from your brain to actually for the student to notice. It really takes a lot of time, and it's tiring up here to say, I need to get sneakers of that nature, or those sneakers, or that. I need to look like I belong to vets. I need to belong. I need to look like UKZN students. And students usually put in so much thought in this that it shifts, you know, their focus from the main, and then they start focusing on ways of making money. As I said, we come from poor families. They start looking for ways of making money, and you trust me, as a first year student, you are most likely to get that wrong. The ways of making money, you might be underqualified to start thinking about that at that level. So what the easiest option that you go is like hustling your family, which is wrong, even though you know that these guys are poor. Or if you don't do that, if you are lucky enough not to do that, you're just gonna get the wrong things. You're gonna get the wrong friends. You're gonna, and I don't care whether you're talking about male or female students. It's the same boat, man. You're gonna get the wrong friends. The friends that you think, okay, these guys are cool. I want to look like these guys. So let me get to know these guys, how they do this, and then you realize, hey, these ones, they go to Florida, and then you start this feeling that you feel like you need to go to Florida too. You need to belong to this group of people. And then to go to Florida, you will want some money. And if you don't have money, you will find guys with money at Florida. Boom, big issue. So that's one thing, man. That's really, really, really one thing that affects the guys, that they look at people and then they think, oh, I need to look like that because this is how UKs and students look. This is how vets people look. I need to look like that. And then they mess the whole thing up. And that trust me, it will affect you psychologically without noticing first. And then when it starts to reflect badly on your academics, that's when you really feel the heat, and you start doing everything that you didn't come here to do.